we good? We're good. All right, Esper midrange. So if you've been following this format for a while, you'll know that there is a blue-black midrange deck that did well in the Mythic Championship in the hands of Seth Manfield. This deck is basically very similar to that shell, except it's splashing Mortify and Teferi, because, well, both these cards are more than good, they're great. So, basically, the blue-black mid-range deck felt very reasonable, except it had some holes in the types of permanents it could answer, and this shell kind of aims to fix it up. So I really do think this is a good example of, like, identifying a problem that a deck feels like it has, and then trying to make some changes in order to improve it. I almost forgot to put sleeves on my deck. Always use protection, chat. It's very important. Always use protection. Oh, I didn't have Duress either. God, what a punt. The default Duress is really killing me. I apologize. Don't be wrap your deck. That's excellent. We did update Lyra. If anyone sees a card on my stream that's not foil and you think it's a travesty, remember you can cheer $5 worth of bits or donate $5 and we will get that all prettified for you. Well, I mean, the hand's got 6 foil cards in it, so I think it's borderline keepable. It's definitely winning most beauty contests. This is Magic the Gathering, chat. Mulligan the 7, you know you're supposed to mulligan, get punched in the throat. If this 7th card's a blue or black source, this hand would be keepable. So London mulligan when, please? Perfect. Probably haven't played with it yet. How would a couple of Lyras and extra Tef be instead of the Doom Whispers? So, Chewy, one of the things that you need to understand about this deck is blue-black with a white splash. So, playing double white cards is more prohibitive than playing single white cards is. That hand is kind of scary. They're literally just gonna go, like, I think I need to just dig for removal, right? Take Ferox and play on hard mode. Get out! Out! Need all the Mortifies ASAP. Someone asked me about Tibalt. I think Tibalt's gonna be a great sideboard card for red. It looks like it's like what's it called? The banned card that says you can't gain life, except it's more interactable. Tibalt is red Lingering Souls. In a way, it only makes 2 tokens, right? So it's not quite red Lingering Souls. I think that's a little bit of a Ferocity. Yeah, it's like a Ferocity that's easier to interact with. Alright, this keeps them from doing this next turn, right? This costs 12, it costs 6 right now. Oh no, it doesn't at all, because this nets them a mana. Yikes! Mortify, cast down, Mortify, cast down. I think that's all, folks. I think a lot of people who didn't play last time Augur of Bolas is legal are going to quickly realize the number of instants and sorceries you need in your deck for Augur of Bolas to be playable is much higher than you think on the surface. We have more foil cards than them. How could we lose? That's really, why did I pay you all this money if it wasn't so I could win, Watsy? Come on now. Sorry, my keyboard is broken. Just going on Edge Freak. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Duress is pretty bad here. Disdainful Stroke seems fine. I think Sabotage is fine too. I guess that means Fungal Infection is the last card. For those of you that haven't played with Augur of Bolas before, it frequently reads, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reorganize them on the bottom of your library in your choosing. The Negate is very beautiful. I think that artwork was like the best Negate artwork as is, and then like we added this extra layer to it. It's just awesome. No plays till turn 4. I guess I'll mulligan. Oh, Temple of Tilt. This Thought Erasure is beautiful, by the way. This is another one that just looks quite excellent. I like that. I like the cards that like have the subtle. Part of me wonders if the animations would be better overall if they didn't do the whole big zoomy thing like we have now, and instead just like had the subtleness like the shimmer that this has. Yeah, Augur of Bolas is gonna read, put 3 Teferis on the bottom of your deck, more than you like to admit. Animations are not available for all cards, Hider. That's just actually just incorrect. It's a lot of Lightning Strike. Super glad that I bottomed that Thief. Seeing double 3-drop here feels bad because it means I can't disrupt their curve. Alright, one of your finest white sources, please. Be aggressive, huh? I think I want to just do that. If they hit land for Null Hide into Vivian, we're probably done for. That's a Krull Harpooner. Alright. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. Doom Boy not looking fantastic in the face of Vivian Reed. Esper and Miss Landrop's name a more iconic duo. It really is the truth, huh? Hey, look, a distraction. Strike me down. Target opponent discards 1 lightning strike. At least they're missing land drops too, I suppose. Can't be too upset. Yeah, probably, yeah, if you're not going to do anything else with them, right? And, like, this Doom Boy is just, like, looking rancid in the face of this Vivian Reed. Huh. That's really interesting, Isha. It is an astute observation. Yeah, that's actually something interesting to think about, Topto. Like, if this Doom Whisperer had been a Teferi, like how much better off would we be in this position? So, Fungal Infection, in a way, gets to trade with this Branch Walker. You just slam it and hope they miss again? Yeah, maybe. I'm kind of hoping they hit so I can stroke Vivian. Oh, why you have to be so good at magic, opponent? Stupid opponent playing around cards like they know how the game works. This Lightning Strike means we're dead in 2 to the Steel Leaf Champion. I need to draw an untapped land next turn so I can play Doom Whisperer while holding up this stroke. Opponent's played this game really well. Yeah, they pace their threats beautifully. Oh, Esper control. Midrange Esper. Oh, Esper. Do. We saw some awkwardness that game too with the Kaya's Wraths out of the sideboard and these Doom Whisperers. Like I had to wait to play the Doom Whisperer until after I burned the Kaya's Wrath for maximum sequencing value, and then like when that happened, it like gave my opponent enough time to find the 5th land for their Vivian, which then made Doom Whisperer awkward. Alistair, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome, welcome. Ancient Archdemon. I'm finally out of the terrible 2s and the terrible 3s now for the terrible 4s. Does it continue being terrible? I thought they're supposed to get better at some point. Thanks for the 4 buds, Steven. Got some really solid wrong half problem going on here. This was actually something that we heard. This was actually something that we heard a lot of at the Invitational this weekend. Like, you kept hearing the commentators mention, like, well, this hand's great if they're playing against their opponent's Esper deck, but, like, in the event they're playing against the mono-red deck, the coin flip that they lose because this hand is terrible there. Obviously, they didn't literally say coin flip most of the time, but a lot of the times it was like, oh, yeah, they're just, like, super dead if they're in the wrong matchup here. It never gets better. I like people who are real with me. I appreciate you. Gets better when they move out. then they're just someone else's problem. Problem somewhere else. All right, so I think we just kind of got to get through the Conclave Tribunal here. So I think this Thief of Sanity is just like, hey, look, a distraction. And then hopefully we hit a land in our next 2 draws and we can curve Contempt into Doom Whisper to stabilize the board. They draw a land here. They enable the City's Blessing. Yes, Chewy. I think that would have been much better. That's similar to what Hearthstone does with their... It's similar to what Hearthstone does with their Conquest format, and I think that would have been greatly preferred. I think giving the players more decision points with which to have leverage their skill to have a meaningful impact on the game would have been a good thing. In fact, when you got to game 3 a lot of the time in the matches over the weekend, you heard the commentators talking about how it was in fact an interesting decision that the players were faced with like what level they were going to be on. So I think more things that add more player agency to the game, that give players more decisions to impact the outcome, is ideal. All right, so we're taking 1 here effectively, dropping to 6. Morning unlucky, afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Disinformation Campaign. Draw me a removal spell, please. I didn't say, so Weens, what you've done there is something that I find incredibly annoying that happens a lot of the time. So when I said I think more points for players to leverage their skill is a good thing, you responded to that with not addressing my point, but instead saying that there were plenty of times where they got to leverage their skill. I didn't say the format as is was skill-less, and that would be silly to say in my opinion. What I said was that the format could be changed in ways to give more opportunities to leverage being a better player. Those are different. Saying we could make this be easier to leverage your skill isn't saying as is it's skill-less. No, so those two things are not logically equivalent. I think it is true to both say this thing could be worked in a way to allow the better player to win more often, while saying there is still skill present in what's going on currently. I don't think those things have to be mutually exclusive by any stretch of the imagination. Silas Goodbottom, thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday wherever you're at. Thanks for dropping in here today. I think Duress is actually pretty okay here. I think I'm going to trim these discoveries. Do I have enough lands to trim discovery? Yeah, probably. Yep, yeah, I agree, Mr. Rogers. We definitely hit a little bit of the wrong half problem there. We didn't know exactly what we were playing against game 1, and then because we didn't know what we were playing against, our opponent was able to run us down because our cards didn't line up very well. Frenzied Mage, thank you for the 15 months. Welcome back. Yeah, it seems fine. It's actually pretty good, right? Erasure into Mortify. It doesn't have, like, Cry or Kaya's Wrath, but as far as, like, hands that don't have a sweeper go in this matchup, this one's probably towards the top of the good ones. I came here for Yoshi, but instead I'm stuck with a bed. You know, we haven't talked about that at all today. If you have a child that you like to play video games with, Yoshi's Crafted World is A+ fantastic. We picked it up over the weekend for the Switch to play with Declan, and I have never seen a game capture Declan's attention for as long as this game did. It also has, it's basically like a classic Mario side-scrolling game, but it has a 2-player mode, which is awesome. So now I'm faced with the decision, do I kill Marshal, or do I prevent them from flipping the Legion's Landing? I think I'm supposed to kill Marshal, but it's a tough call. Legion's Landing is really good against us. The attention of my 3-year. What's attention? Got it. I got it. Took me a moment. Oh, I can field the land. Duh. There's a Field of Runes sitting in play, chat. Thank you for helping me. I'm slow sometimes. Our greedy mana base is paying off. It is indeed. Ooh, candy. If they don't have a negate here, Cry is gonna be great. Or do I just play Hostage Taker? How do you feel about just playing Hostage Taker? I'm gonna play Hostage Taker. You. One of your finest 2/1s, please. That is not the land I wanted. That one is. Sorry, Loam. If I play this and plus him, he doesn't die to an attack with all. So I think I do that.
I know my responsibility. Hurry.
Would it be worthwhile in this match to Teferi drop your Hostage Shaker to take something else? Probably not. That takes a while to redraw. Because then I lose my Teferi, Tom. My goal here is to keep my Teferi. So that way I can use it to draw removal spells to take the game over. Wow, no attack there is absurd for us.
Keep up the pace.
So they have no cards in hand. So I can field this, cast Cry, during my end step after Teferi untaps, cast this down. There's no basics in this deck? Seriously? Oh, of course there's not basics in this deck. Why? Why would there be basic lands in our deck? It's fine. It's fine. Their stuff is dead. I have a Teferi on 6 and a Hostage Taker. We're all done here. We've made it to game 3. Well, I mean, you don't want to mess your Esper man base up with some basic lands, chat. Come on now. It's completely unreasonable.
I will lend you my strength. You need to slow down.
Alright, goodbye, Felicia. Attack you.
Cease this.
I just assumed there were basic lands, okay? Sorry for making that assumption.
Let's take it back. I'm known for my excellent timing.
This might be a little aggressive.
Not back down.
I don't know, I like keeping their threats off the table. Like, if they draw a land for a turn or two, the game just, like, ends. We're still kind of at a point where my opponent could claw back into this, I think. Dr. Jones, thank you for the half a year. Welcome back. So, their card in hand is either a land or a counterspell, and their counterspell likely doesn't counter Thief of Sanity. So I'm going to hold on to this until I need to resolve something that, like, a Negate could counter. Opponent concludes the game is over. I agree with their assessment. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Let's run it back. This hand's actually really good. This is just like a good Esper control hand in this matchup. The Duress on 1 is also fantastic because it like cuts through histories, it cuts through counterspells. We just need to draw land 3 and 4, which I'm sure are now going to be like Field of Ruin and other things, but ooh. The new Vivian card is my spirit animal. For those asking. The new Vivian is everything I want to be doing in Magic, chat. It's all I want out of life. I am a hungry, hungry hippo, and only bodyguards can sate my taste. So, obviously, I don't get the 2 life by Moment of Craving the Bodyguard here. But I think it's right to do so because now they don't have the Bodyguard active. Should I draw stuff for Kaya's Wrath? It also takes 1 total power off the table, which is valuable. This is how it ends, chat. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Black Source. Alright, we're just gonna keep Legions landing from flipping here, okay? Never flipping, not a once. Never a Legion to land on. Because I'm at 9 life and I want to take I want to keep their threats off the table. Black Source! Black Source! Hooray! Bye, friends. If the Legion's landing is getting to a point where it's likely to flip, we're probably losing that game anyways. Does that mean bad but fun flash deck is back on the menu? Yeah, definitely back on the menu, pizza. Climbing on up. How we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed with sideboards, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here and usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes. All of those deck names in my stream titles are decks that I'm planning to play later today and in the order I intend to play them. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to all my wonderful subs out there. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me around. I'd also like to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. Quip provides wonderful, affordable quality electric toothbrushes. Admain, thanks for the 26 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If you check out their electric toothbrush using my link bit.ly/HugoQuip, you'll get your first refill kit with another brush head, battery, and toothpaste with them for free. Also, if you sign in at that link using your Twitch account, you can bump a deck in my deck queue by 25 points as a thank you for checking out the sponsor. BCW Supplies, you might hear my shuffling deck going here. They do sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff, and they love to help you protect your physical gaming accessories. Using code Jeff10, you can save 10% on all of your supplies with them. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards or to other players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off the top. And of course, InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they already have on their website. If you're someone new and you're just dropping in, you're enjoying what you see, be sure to hit that follow button as well. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. I'm here pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, doing a bunch of different constructed things. Heading on into our next match here with some Esper mid-range. Kind of blue-black with a small white splash for Mortify and Teferi. This hand might be loose depending on the matchup. I'm going to keep it because we're on the play. I think if we're on the draw, I'd mulligan no play till turn 3. But hopefully, if they're playing aggro, this is good enough or we get lucky and rip a 2-mana spell. Doesn't really matter which shock land I lead on one here since I have 2 different buddy lands. Stomping Ground. Hopefully, we've played against a lot of Nullhide Feroxes so far today. So hopefully not another Nullhide deck. Doom Whisper is probably exceptionally bad in this matchup. The opponent's deck tends to play 2 to 3 copies of Collision Colossus in the main deck, which makes Doom Whisper extra bad. Whirly boy up in our base. Alright, so the opponent's deck tends to play a lot of removal spells, as I've been talking about. So I think deploying Thief of Sanity or Hostage Taker and hoping it sticks is kind of a pipe dream. So I think I'd much rather just play the Godless Shrine tapped here and just plan to Mortify something this turn. And then probably play Doom Whisper next turn on 5. While it does die to Collision Colossus, it doesn't die to things like Shock and Lightning Strike. My deck doesn't have a ton of ways to gain life in it, so I want to keep my health total high here. So I don't get risk getting burned out. Well, that is an excellent card to come down for us before we play our flying threats out here. This is fantastic. Gives me kind of the go-ahead here to know exactly what's up. It's going to pick this Disinformation Campaign back up as well. We know they have a shock in hand, so that means I don't just want to play out this Thief of Sanity. Get a little value going here. Make them discard a card. We'll draw a card. Be interesting to see if they ditch the shock or if they keep the land so they can play a dragon off the top. Kept the shock, yep. We're going to 10 here. They draw Collision Colossus. Yep. Alright, this puts us to a virtual 4. Because of that. I think I want to play Doom Whisper here. So this way, next turn I have 7 mana. And I could Hostage Taker their Dire Fleet and then Dire Fleet their Shock if they play it. We are dead to a few things here, but I think most of our plays were dead to those things. You could maybe argue that I should have Glacial Fortress, Hostage Taker, played Dire Fleet out. Maybe that's a little bit more conservative. Kroll Harpooner plus Shock does kill my Doom Whisperer. And they are playing the Chain Whirler variation, so putting us to 1 here is super meaningful. So I assume we're going to see Shock happen here. Get radical, dude. Kappas to you as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. So we're going to 1 here, but we are going to clean their board up. So we get to make the play that I talked about last turn, which is Hostage Taker your Dire Fleet, and then Dire Fleet your Shock. Shock the Kroll Harpooner. Oh, quick chat, there's so much staff. Hide the memes. Everybody act natural. So this puts them down to just cards off the top. So we're not, by no means are we in the clear here. They have a bunch of cards that kill us. And in fact, while it feels good for them to miss this turn, the 5th land opens up Scrag and Hellkite as another thing that can kill us. So just need to close the game out ASAP here. Am I dead yet? Okay, alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. What are the odds they have some way to gain life? Not likely. Having come from Hearthstone, it seems like there's always an attempt to keep power level proportionate to mana usage, but Magic seems to not stick too much to this ideal. Like Doom Whisper seems like an amazing creature for a 5-drop compared to so many others. I'd actually argue Doom Whisper isn't all that good. Like, the power level of things, so one of the things you're kind of doing there, Dopey, is the assumption that the power level of things is kind of flat, when in reality, the power level of things is kind of dependent on the format that they're being played in. Are there any cards in my deck I can Discovery into to reduce the things I die to here? Gamel, thanks for the 5 months, welcome back. I have 1 Contempt and 1 Moment of Craving in my deck. So yeah. No, I have double Lightning Strike to kill a hasty threat. So I have 2 spells that gain me life here. I'm gonna dig for a spell that gains me life. And now I'm not playing these out. Oh geez, the 3/3. Oh no. Am I supposed to play Hostage Taker out because of Spellbreaker? They've already played 1 dragon. I was supposed to save... Was I supposed to hold it for Dispersal? Alright, well there's definitely 4 Spellbreakers in their deck, right? There's definitely 4 Spellbreakers in their deck. Oh, I could have Dispersaled their draw step. I could have Dispersaled their draw step. Yeah, I could have. Alright, so we're dead to burn spells, Whirly Boys. We're dead to dragon. So I played the Hostage Taker here because playing Hostage Taker beats their 3/3 with haste. And they have more 3/3s with haste Scroll Spellbreaker than they do dragons in their deck right now. So yeah, Spellbreaker wasn't killing me there because I played the other Hostage Taker. This is definitely a Stroke and Contempt and Craving matchup. And Contempt, I think. This is not a Duress matchup. This is not an Eldest Reborn matchup. They have a lot of kind of mediocre creatures that don't do a whole lot. Spellbreaker is only a 3/3 if it has haste. This is definitely a Kaya's Wrath matchup. This could be a Kaya matchup just because she does clean out Phoenix after they die. Is it crazy to cut Doom Whisperer here? I think I want to cut Doom Boy. Is that silly? Like they're definitely leaving in all their Collision Colossus, right? I don't mind Fungal. So they don't have Explore creatures. Fungal hits Dire Fleet and it hits Elf. I think that's kind of narrow. Frosty Mate, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Do I want this Sinister Sabotage? Is Sinister Sabotage better than one of the other tools that I have? Disinformation Campaign's probably a little slow and clunky. I'll leave one Sabotage in my deck. It's kind of tough to hold up mana for it, but at the same time, it can have a reasonable impact. Phil Rickner, thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. No worries, Ozzy will be here. And remember, even if you can't sub, you can still interact with me if you need to. My YouTube comments are open. So I read every comment posted on my YouTube channel because I believe in moderation. So I read all the nice ones and I remove all the rude ones. I think this is a mulligan. It doesn't impact the board very quickly. This hand's like super reasonable with an untapped land in the first few turns, right? That's not a white source, but it's definitely keepable. What is this deck list? This is a blue-black with a small white splash. So it's very similar to the Dimir mid-range deck that Seth Manfield played at the last Mythic Championship. You can always find the deck by typing !deck in chat or navigating to my Stream Decker page. Alright, please play something that's not Growl Spellbreaker. Rat! I explicitly asked for no Spellbreaker, opponent. Cast down. It's very possible I'm supposed to hold up Disdainful Stroke this turn for the Phoenix. The problem is that they don't play a Phoenix. I'm then getting beat down by this 4/4. Alec, thank you for the 11 months. How big is the therapy bill for having to wade through YouTube comments? You know, YouTube has auto-moderator settings. They're actually, like, super reasonable. To set a bar that's low, I have had to remove far fewer YouTube comments than I was expecting to have to remove. I think I'm supposed to take it slow here. I think I want to Teferi into plus and just keep leaving the stroke up. The Domri does ult somewhat quickly, though, which is scary. I guess Teferi technically keeps that in check. He ults at 8, right? Yeah, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to plus him.
Hold that thought.
All right, Teferi's a hungry boy. So this has haste. Cast down the demons or phoenixes. You know, we're not really picky. All right, so tuck this in. Eggs are for breakfast. Play a Thief of Sanity. All right, feels like we're doing okay here. They need to answer Teferi and Thief still. Sailor Dark. Thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They put down a flying blocker. I have a Mortify. So if they have double removal spell here, like a burn spell to kill Teferi and then a way to take Thief off the table, suddenly we're pretty far behind because they still have 3 cards left. Just a Phoenix is not too big of a deal, though. Vraska's Contempt. Alright, so would love to draw a burn spell off the top of their deck so we can kill this Phoenix Egg, but hitting with this Thief of Sanity is nice because it does mean that I get to get rid of their Domri. Vivian digs for Hostage Taker, which is kind of sweet. Again, I can't play her this turn, but she does dig for Hostage Taker next turn. So, Teferi's going down, but I have a Sabotage to stop a follow-up flying blocker, which means Thief of Sanity gets to hit them again. This is post-board, so it's probably incredibly unlikely that my opponent still has Lava Coil in their deck. But if I find, like, a Lightning Strike or a Shock, I can Vivian their bird and then untap, do another thing. Stop it. Rough. I think I play this out as, hey, look, a distraction. Because if she finds me an 8th land, I get to play and use and recast the Phoenix at the same turn with the Hostage Shaker, and they need another haste threat or a burn spell to take her off the table this turn. Which they have, but that's fine. Ship it. Thank you for the $3 tip. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Instantly thought of you and Yeva when I saw the Vivian spoiler. Yeva. There's gonna be a lot of Vivian played on this stream. Gonna be a lot of the new Vivian played on this stream. We do not get the Phoenix back after it dies, because the Phoenix does not go to our graveyard. I think I hold on to this for now. We're kind of keeping pace with the opponent having drawn twice as many lands as them, which is impressive. That being said, because we're playing more of a mid-range deck and less of a control deck, the fact that we don't have sweepers... I guess I have Kaya's Wrath in post-board. The fact that I don't have, like, Chemist's Insight in my deck is a big deal here. Probably see this trade. If we draw a removal spell, we're almost back to parity. We're just like Hostage Taker versus Spellbreaker. Whirly Boy up in the base. Hostage Taker is also a good draw here because we can play and cast Skragan Hellkite in the same turn. Spell. We're done so. I guess I could play Kaya there as, hey, look, a distraction, and then maybe we rip something the following turn. Yeah, maybe that was one turn early. Probably could have faded a turn into Kaya's Wrath. I have a feeling I'm going to build a lot of really bad decks with the new Jace. Did they have lethal? I think I had, so the what's her name would have gained us 2 and I could have chump blocked as well. So I think gaining 2 and chump blocking I would have survived there. This hand obviously could use some huge tracts of land, but I think it's definitely a reasonable keep. If we hit the 3rd land naturally, the Thought Erasure Surveil could help pull us up into the 4th, which would be ideal. Probably have to kill that with fire, huh? If you don't kill the growth... Maybe the fact that they don't have a green source yet, other than the unclaimed territory, means I'm supposed to erasure them here. Well, yep. This is kind of awkward at this point, because, like, their hand's kind of bad. But at the same time, it's like, my cards also aren't doing a whole lot. Thief of Sanity is very dead at the moment. Firmly on the dead side of that scale. I guess Teferi is like, hey, look, a distraction here. So anything that's not a land or a Kaya's Wrath, we're probably getting rid of here. I don't think that's good enough. I don't think I have time to, like, play this and then play that. I think I'm at a virtual 12, so, like, I'm just dead next turn, right? Need one of them Wraths off the top. Piece of spot removal also stems the bleeding a little bit. Alright, end me. This is my play. We're not happy about it, but this is it.
I'm not ready for this quite yet.
Oh, I'm just dead to double. I'm dead. I'm double. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I had lines that didn't put me dead on board, but we're probably getting got regardless. We could like play a land tapped and then play Thief. It dies. We go to 6 and they still have a shock in their hand, and then maybe Teferi pulls us back in. Yeah, that would have been better. Because then Teferi has a chance to draw a removal spell the following turn. No, I guess that doesn't even work, though, because they still have a Spellbreaker, right? I play Thief. Yeah, we're just dead regardless. It doesn't matter. The Spellbreaker was gone, so it was out of that computation, but the Spellbreaker was gone because I played the Teferi. So far, I feel like this deck's been a good example of why Esper control plays no creatures in the main deck and then sideboards in Thief of Sanity. And so I disagree with your assessment there, Silas. So Silas has said this deck seems like it's kind of stuck in between control and mid-range, but too overly effective in either direction. So I think there's a word problem missing there. I don't think this deck is anything but a mid-range deck, and I think Esper mid-range just isn't very good. Or at least not this build. This build of it does not seem the direction I want to be in. Like this feels like it just doesn't have the tools it needs. It doesn't have the ability to be the big appeal to mid-range decks as opposed to control decks is that mid-range decks tend to have aggressive draws is their appeal, and this deck just never does anything aggressive, basically. It's funny, someone earlier had mentioned they felt Doom Whisperer was really pushed and too powerful. I actually think part of the reason why this deck is bad is because Doom Whisperer's not good in this format. Like, Doom Whisperer is such a fantastic example of, like, cards being good depends on the format that they're in. And, like, this format, Doom Whisperer is just not great. There's even the green decks can kill a 6/6 flyer for 2 mana. You just lose a ton of efficiency and tempo on that exchange. If they brick on a land / a threat again next turn, I can maybe have a chance, but if they kill my Thief and commit more pressure to the board, we're probably done here. I like my opponent's use of not shocking the Thief of Sanity here, because they're instead choosing to hold on to those spells, because those spells eventually turn into damage towards my dome, whereas Lava Coil only ever kills creatures. Down to 6. What's going on, Vix? I think this is probably going to be our last match with this deck, just giving it one more chance. I haven't been impressed. I like Rog's suggestion there. I do personally really like the builds that play Bellhaunt. I think Bellhaunt is a great tool. Oh. They're gonna untap and Lightning Strike us. Having a way to both stabilize the board and your health total simultaneously seems really powerful. This card is too much setup for too little return, it feels like. Oh, Bellhaunt is obscene in that deck, that's for certain. I would like a 4/4, please. And then, like, here's part of the problem here, where, like, I've kind of stabilized the board now, but my deck doesn't actually have copies of Absorb in it to draw to, so, like, I'm just dead to, like, half a dozen draws off the top of my opponent's deck because I don't have Absorbs to stabilize.
We need to move
I did see that snap bolt. Yoink. So, if we can dodge a lightning strike, we can dodge a ball and we're going to win this game. But if they find that, there's just nothing we can really do about it. Hey, hand sea hitters. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Sure. I like the opponent not aggressively going for Growth Chamber here. They're playing around the cast down pretty excellently.
No time for a break.
No time for a break. So they'll block, they'll pump, we'll cast down in response, we'll play Doom Whisperer post-combat, we'll untap with Mortify lands, then we just have to fade Lightning Strike for one more turn here. Pass priority, because my creature eats theirs. I mean, they're just on, like, the can't beat a removal spell plan, right? They're just like, they just need the Lightning Strike. Don't play around things you can't beat, etc., etc. Dear opponent, please don't Lightning Strike my dome. What does Liliana's Triumph do? I don't remember what that card does. Is that the Edict? I don't know that it's really a surprise. I think a card like that's a fine power level. Doesn't seem like anything I'd consider too strong in the current format by any means. Campaign's a little slow. Oh, I cut Doom Whisper in this matchup. Yeah, that seems fine. That seems reasonable. It's an edict that doesn't target, which is nice for Bogles. It's cute that you think Modern means you can afford... You just can't afford to play a card that narrow in Modern. I don't think. Even without it targeting, it's just too narrow. Why is it explicitly good against Death Shadow? Did I miss something about it? Theresis, thank you for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Monday. Welcome back. All right. Well, I know what's potentially being taken hostage here. Whirly boy up in the base. Is that a card I want? I probably want this in my back pocket, right? Angler can be hard to deal with for most decks. Not if your deck can make black mana. If your deck's making black mana, Angler's not really a problem. Yeah, this deck has some weird tensions in it. That's for sure. I think I want both of these. Oh, you know what? I should have left the second hostage taker on top in case they thought Erasure me. Do I want their map or do I want their Chain Whirler? I think I'd take the Chain Whirler to alleviate pressure. It's probably the case. If they hit Lightning Strike or another Shock, I feel bad about this because it means I take an extra point of damage, but I think this is correct. Taking the Chain Whirler also means that if they play this next turn, it just dies to my Whirler trigger, which is ideal. Fish Lamp Clock, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's keep it on, keep it on. Now, this might be greedy, but I think I like it. Someone asked how long I plan to stay pink. We actually cut the tops of my hairs over the weekend. Alright, got greedy, got punished, got it. Oh no! Oh no! The House of Cards, it's all come tumbling down. I didn't think that through. I didn't think that one through. I guess I had, let me go through my thought process. I had obviously incorrectly assumed that because I had untapped with the Hostage Taker Chain Whirler, that my opponent was going to not keep a card on top that would let them kill the Hostage Taker because the Hostage Taker looked like it was going to have already done its thing. So I thought that I was good because it looked like I would have already had an opportunity to have used it, but obviously that's not panned out. Alrighty.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. I think we just double Thief here. We know they have Colossus. They get a Scry at end step, a Scry on their upkeep, and then a Scry, and then a draw step, so they get 3 looks at a way to kill this other Thief here, which seems tough. They have a lot of removal in their deck still, which is smart against our creature heavy deck.
Don't make another move.
like, you hate Direfleet Daredevil in that you think it's not good, or you hate playing against Direfleet Daredevil because you think it's too good. They're playing Vivian Reed. That's interesting. So, Vivian plus this collision allows them to nix both my flyers here, but it does cost their treasurers. Yeah, sure, Oak. And remember, each of those treasures we're going to turn into cards.
You know what?
We're going to turn into card draws with the Treasure Cove. That's a great draw, actually, because next turn, I'll be able to Hostage Taker this, and then Direfleet their Lightning Strike, and Lightning Strike their Vivian Reed. So even if they find an answer to this Thief here, we're going to get him next turn. I mean, what do you want your 2-mana card to do, Hives? I feel like you're expecting it to do too much, it sounds like, for the amount of mana that it costs.
Plan B, as soon as I think of one. Let's skip to the good part.
So I'm going to put a stop on my end of turn here. So this way, after... Oh, I guess I could just take this. Yeah, I guess I just Chain Whirler, actually, right? This cleans up all their creatures. It leaves their Vivian in play, though. No, it doesn't, because this could kill this, right? Yeah, this does one here. Yeah, this means I don't get to use the Thief this turn, but that's still fine, right? This is the game where I got greedy with Hostage Takers, too, isn't it? Alright, this is the game where my Hostage Takers got blown out. Because they hadn't won a name. Yeah, I don't know. That kind of just felt like... It kind of just felt like mediocre Esper control. I feel like the power level of what we had going on, like Thief and Hostage Taker are great cards, but there's just so much removal in main decks that a lot of the power that Esper control has as a deck is related to the fact that in addition to having a variety of good cards in it, Esper control, traditional Esper control, accrues what we refer to as virtual card advantage by the virtue of your opponent's removal spells just not having targets for your stuff. So, I think this was kind of a miss for me. I think if I wanted to work on Esper midrange some more, and I believe we have an Esper midrange build round coming up that I'm going to put together myself, I'm probably going to focus more on something with, like, Bell Haunts, and something that's a little bit more creature-based, rather than being this close to an Esper control shell with some Hostage Takers and some Thieves shoved